Hello, human peoples. You're listening to the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. To support us and gain access to great exclusive podcasts like Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Star Trek The Next Futurama, and our latest show, Spiel Boys, head over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. We do game streaming, movie nights with our patrons every Friday night, and you can even commission your own podcast about anything you want. Literally anything, within reason, and we have to do it. You are quite frankly out of excuses not to go visit patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
Hypecast mit Tom Reimann und David Bell.
We just sort of expected a show to happen. Like, we have to do something.
Oh God, that would be so cool.
It
if that
doesn't
was
just.
the case.
I always imagine it just like emerged from the ether.
Yeah.
Can we use AI to make the episode, Dave?
Yes.
Can we
Let's
just use
fuck
AI?
it.
AI
All right.
voices.
That's a show. All right, good. Love it. That's a wrap.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
We're on an episode of Hypecast.
Hypecast.
It's the show where we get hyped about stuff and things. I'm your co-host, Tom Ryman.
I'm your other co-host, David Bell.
And I'm a third co-host. More of a guest, Jamie Kelly.
Hey!
Jamie!
Welcome.
Hey.
Welcome.
What's up, my babies?
How are you?
Doing wonderful. Thank you guys for having me on.
Absolutely.
Thanks for being on. Always a pleasure. It's been a while.
It has
a-
been.
Wait, you've been on a Hypecast, right?
Yeah. Now, I've been working for you guys for what, about 4 years now?
4 years, I think. Yeah.
I think this
Yeah.
might be my fourth appearance.
That's too little. I think we need more of you.
I think one of those was a best bad
It was
movie, so
definitely
a whole
Best
different
Bad movie,
podcast. Yeah.
You, did-
Yeah.
you brought What Dreams May Come, I remember.
Oh yeah. Oh, what a show.
It's a delightful sap.
Oh man, what a blur! I can't even I can't remember that.
There's
Tom, how did you pull that?
But What Dreams Make, I don't know, man. That's how my
Yeah.
mind works.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I remember the movie. I just don't remember recording a podcast about it.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. Jamie, thank you for being on. What do you got? What do you got going on? What's your?
Okay.
Where can people find you? What's your story? What's stuff to plug?
Okay. So, yeah, I'm going to have to tell a tiny little bit of story, little information for my plug to make
Ooh.
sense, but I'll keep it short.
No,
So for
dude,
those,
Go nuts.
for those who don't know who I am, maybe first time listeners or, it's been 4 years. My name's Jamie Kelly. I do a good handful of the editing for Gamefully Unemployed, mostly the Patreon shows, right?
This is true.
Yeah. I'm a full-time editor for 1-900 Hot Dog with Robert Brockway and Sean Baby. So I'm sure listeners are familiar. There's a lot of crosstalk between fans with those shows.
Mm.
And my day job, and this is going to be pertinent to the plug, is for 17 years, I'm a performer and a producer and a bunch of other things for the adult entertainment industry. And the plug is, after a good 5-year hiatus, I'm finally putting season 3 of my podcast out there in the world. It's called The Approximate Podcast. And, we've been working on it for my co-host and I've been working on it for about 8 months now. And we did a soft launch, on Thanksgiving just to test all of our stuff out. But as of the time of this recording, our first official episode just came out this morning, December 7th.
Ooh.
Nice.
And it is a show that it's all industry insider interviews, specifically folks within the transgender niche of the adult entertainment industry. I here in Vegas, and I'm just this is where the business is. So I'm surrounded by my peers, and about 8 months ago, I decided it was kind of time to get back in the saddle with the podcast with a much more focused show. It used to be a real big mess. We just talked about too many things. It was, like I said, very unfocused. Mm-hmm. So we've made a interview style show featuring folks within our niche. And it's not a salacious show. It's not a bunch of like porn plugs or it's not that kind of thing. It's a really candid look at what it is to kind of be on the front lines of like the people that like live within the margins, a weird part of, subsect of society. And we love it. Very proud of it. The first 2 episodes are up now and we're available everywhere. The easiest way to get to it is just to go to approximatepodcast.com. And that's just a landing page for the YouTube, SoundCloud, Patreon, all the things, Apple, you name it, we're on it. So that's the plug. And thank you so much.
Of course.
Awesome.
That sounds absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, that sounds really, really
Check that
cool.
out.
For sure.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank
you
you
so much for being on. And you like movies?
Less and less these days.
Yeah, that's a loaded question.
Listen.
What is this, a hearing?
That's a fair answer to my question. Well, we should talk about movies, right? We like movies,
That's why we're here.
That's why we're here.
That's why we
but
came
first we have
together to break bread on this day.
That's true.
With
This is
a good sprinkling of maximum hype.
Yes,
That's true.
I think so too.
That's true.
I believe this is. I think this is going to be our second to last Hypecast of the year.
You may be right. I don't know. I don't know how time works. But
I don't know.
It feels correct. We're getting close to
tell.
we're getting close to the end of the year. We usually take some time off. This might be the second to last. Yeah.
We still have plenty of podcasts over the break.
Oh, yeah.
But
we're going to be pre-recording a whole bunch of slop for all you guys. You'll love it. You love your slop.
You love it.
And we love making it for you.
That's true. Speaking of which, we want to thank some producers.
Yeah,
first.
let's do that.
Big old thank you to @NerdNumbers. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you to Zero Charisma.
Thank you.
Thank you to A Bag Full of Bags. Thank you to Aaron Burser.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to AJ.
Thank you.
Thank you to Andrew. Fuck that last guy, Hal. Thank you to Andrew McGuire. Thinks Andrew Howe's a swell guy. Oh no!
Not sure what's
wrong
happening
order.
here.
I alphabetized, and that is on YouTube. Thank you to Asking Seven. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Let me swoop in here. Thank you to Bob Grenville.
Thank
you to Brula Brutlison. Thank you to Brian and Tom Knows.
Thank
you to Burrito. Wants you to drink water, hit the gym, and do the ska because they loves y'all.
Pick it up.
Thank you to Buy TikTok Superstars Jason Pargin's new book, Zoe is Too Drunk for This Dystopia, out now wherever books are sold.
Thank you.
Thank you to Chester's Prophet.
Thank
and
you.
thank you to Christopher Robert Sparks, Esquire.
Thank you. All right.
Woo! Movies.
Time for movies.
Moving pictures.
This trailer came out like the day we recorded last week's Hypecast.
That's true.
And we missed it. But we are going to rectify that. It is Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. Thoughts?
Oh boy. The moment I clicked play, I was aghast. The first words out of my mouth are just, oh no. And I noticed something about all the trailers that we were assigned. I don't know if it's just me or if YouTube's doing something, but does everything look like it's covered in like a too much filter?
Yeah,
there's a lot of that.
It's always hard to tell. Yeah, it comes and goes.
Yeah.
Color correction is this whole damn thing.
Yeah.
This I would say felt on par with the first Mad Max in terms of the filter. Maybe a little more orange.
Fury Road, you mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's just everything just looked really plasticky.
A little bit,
Yeah.
It's got a kind of a sheen to it. My big problem with a lot of the trailers today is that I just couldn't. They're dark. It's hard for me to see. I think I might be in the minority here. I don't care about the CGI in this as much. I recognize it's not going to be. If the big sort of reaction to this trailer has been, oh wow, it looks like all the action CG. That's not like Mad Max is a stunt movie. What made Fury Road awesome was because it had all these practical car stunts that were bonkers. But I don't think like that movie was like so far over budget and over production schedule and was just sort of this like beautiful chaotic thing that I don't think is ever going to happen again. Like I don't think they're ever going to give him that much money ever again.
Not only that, but George Miller's 108 years old.
Yeah, he's
you
fucking
can't
old.
put that
Like,
man
you
out in
know.
the sun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So it's like it's just to finish up my thought. It's this version absolutely feels like a compromise. Like this was not what I was expecting when he started talking about doing a Furiosa prequel. You know, almost 10 years ago now. So like I feel like we were either going to get this compromise version or no movie at all, and I think I'd rather have the George Miller movie. So it's like, yeah, this looks like The Hobbit, but I kind of don't care because we already. But like Mad Max is pretty secure.
If there's going to be a compromise, let it be a compromise under his watch.
Sure,
yeah,
for sure.
But
yeah,
I would argue, I don't want The Hobbit.
No, but like if he wants to make,
like,
he earned his Hobbit, is what I'm saying.
Right.
Like Peter
Funny
Jackson.
you say that.
Absolutely.
Who's the Marvel dude in that? Chris Hemsworth, was it?
Chris Hemsworth, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny you say about the Hobbit. They put some kind of weird nose on him, and he looks like he's coming straight. He looks like a dwarf.
Yeah, a little bit.
From the Hobbit movies.
I just think this is controversial, but my thoughts on it are complicated. One is that maybe there isn't that much CGI, although this was made during the pandemic. I'm guessing there is CGI. The shot that really worried me was the car jumping over the dune, and like that's a shot that's like that should just be a stunt, but it looks CGI. I can't say that it is. That said, like in Fury Road, there were a lot of CGI shots.
Yeah,
the
of course,
environment
of course.
CGI.
Yeah.
Like people were pointing to the bullet shot in this with Chris Hemsworth, and I'm like, that CGI doesn't bother me. The CGI that did was like there was not even a handful, like one or two car shots that I was like, I don't like that. That looks CGI. But that like isn't enough for me to say, oh no, they ruined it. I'm still sort of holding out. I'm cautiously optimistic. That's all to say, though, that if it is all shot on a green screen because George Miller is old and didn't want to, or the studio, then I'm kind of like, I don't know why make it, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe give it to another director. Maybe get the people who can do it, because otherwise I'm like, I don't know what the point of that is. And ultimately, then it's like, well, then end on Fury Road, you know? I from a personal level, I'm with you too, where it's like, you know, I like George Miller. I don't want him to, you know, kill himself making this movie. I want him. You're right. He deserves it. You know.
Sure.
But
he's earned his Hobbit.
Yeah, just like Peter Jackson earned the Hobbit.
Yeah, the Hobbit still sucks, though. Is the thing?
Yeah, exactly. But the Hobbit still sucks. So I'm like, you know, for the audience,
like really sucks.
Yeah. So it's like I'm not going to be like betrayed or hurt by this, but I'm like, I'd rather have a good movie.
Does it matter?
Maybe it will. Maybe it's like just as. There's also like there's a little more to Mad Max than just the stunts. It's also like weird and out of its mind. So like even if it's just that with like CGI stunts, it'll still be a George Miller movie.
We're also jumping to conclusions.
Exactly. We don't know.
You know.
We don't know. But I don't know. I feel like I was more optimistic than a lot of people, but I don't know.
I don't pay a whole lot of attention to these things. Was it always meant to be a prequel, or is there a reason why it's not a continuation?
I think it was. I don't know if it was always meant to be a prequel. I think maybe at some point they were talking about doing a Furiosa movie with Charlize Theron attached, but it became a prequel pretty early, I think.
There's some controversy there.
Yeah.
There because people were like, "Fucking Charlize Theron, use her. She was wonderful." And I see that. I also like what's her name, Anya Taylor-Joy. Like you know, like if they want, I don't know. It does feel a little weird, but it's.
Maybe she didn't want to do it. You know.
Maybe she didn't want to do it.
I
don't know.
I've heard that was not an easy movie to make.
Right.
Yeah, I am worried about this film a little bit, only because I feel like the first one probably it felt like an underdog, you know, and now the studio's like, all right, we got to do this. Let's make more.
It felt like we were getting away with something. It felt like we were all getting away with something with that movie.
Right.
I'm scared they're going to pump this through the system, you know. make 5 more.
Yeah.
But we'll see. You know,
Movies.
movies.
Yay.
They're back.
Yay! And again, I am optimistic because we're just going by this one trailer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was another thing. I am actually kind of proud of audiences' ability to immediately recognize funny business with CGI.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think there would be that big of a reaction. That shot I mentioned, that shot is that's a shot that it looks photorealistic. It all looks photorealistic. So I appreciate the audiences kind of subconsciously know what to see, what to pick up on for CGI. And one of the things that worries me is the way the camera is in this. It's very the camera's moving in this kind of impossible way that makes you automatically know, like, oh, I think this is CGI.
Yeah, like the motorcycle raptor chase in Jurassic World.
Yeah, exactly. Where you're
a quick shorthand for the listeners.
Yeah, it has
exactly.
Pixar camera.
Yeah, Pixar camera. And there's a little bit of that in this. And that I can see why people are worried based on that. Any other thoughts on this?
No.
All right.
No.
Speaking of apocalyptic wastelands, let's talk about Fallout.
Yeah. I was so hyped for this because I loved the games. And then Jonathan Nolan and Westworld came on screen, and I thought, oh no. Because as a fan of the games, having played a bunch of them, Fallout is not a mystery box. There's usually a bit of a mystery in each story, but it is like a rich, fertile, like verdant earth for a mystery box. So I know he's going to mystery box the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask you guys, because I don't know from video games. So I was going to say, defer to you guys. Is this what you wanted? Because I don't know.
It looks exactly like the game. Basically, Fallout is like, what if it's like a 1950s continued into a utopic future that then became a dystopia. So it's a dystopic utopia of like 1950s futurism. It's like very tongue-in-cheek and satirical. It's weirdly funny most of the time. So this trailer, like the look of it looks great. Like it looks exactly like the game and like the kind of vibe of it too. This sort of attitude of it.
Yeah.
It's all that stuff like clicked, but I really got that bad smell, that like red flag of the Westworldness.
I'm going to be weirdly optimistic because I have nothing at stake here. I didn't really play the Fallout games. I played one of them a little bit, but I'm just not a big fan of the RPG system. It's kind of a shame because they seem like very good games. So here's what I'll say is I'm also with you, Tom, where Westworld burned me, and I sort of have started saying, like, if a TV show does that, I'm just not going to pursue those creators again because TV shows are such time investments that I want to be more careful, you know? That said, Westworld was pretty obviously going to be kind of a problem from the start. Meaning that like the first season is kind of fishy, where you're like, you could feel the mystery box and you could feel that they didn't know how to pay it off. So that's all to say that if that is a problem in this, I think you'll probably know pretty early.
It's just a shame. I don't know. We'll
but
see.
Maybe,
Again, we'll see.
Know.
Yeah.
And also maybe it'll be fine.
It might be fine. Yeah. I think the one of the attributes of Fallout is like, unlike something like The Last of Us, which is a very specific story, Fallout's just a setting. So they can tell any story they want. I don't think any of these are like specific characters from any game or anything. So it's like, it's such a good idea in terms of if you want to adapt something into a TV show, it's like a good pick. It's like a Dungeons and Dragons. You can do anything within this universe.
And looking at Jonathan Nolan's background, I mean, he wrote, a bunch of other stuff that people love. The Prestige, The Dark Knight Rises, Interstellar, at least co-wrote. So, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt there too. And I think a lot of people did like Westworld, right? But they
Yeah,
probably
very popular
recognized
show.
that it fell apart almost immediately too. Jamie, did you watch Westworld?
No, I didn't because I heard that it stunk.
Yeah.
I
There's
wouldn't
some really
say, I wouldn't say it
obvious
stunk, but
signs at the first season, but the first season is fun.
yeah, it's just very mystery boxy. It's like one of the worst offenders of being a mystery box.
Yeah, to the point that I would assume that's why it only lasted, I think, 3 seasons.
I think they made it to 4, didn't they?
Wow. Yeah, I did not get past 2, which honestly was more than I should have given it.
Yeah.
It was so many mystery boxes that it was almost a parody. Like it really was.
Yeah, it really was, and the logic would the moment you'd think about it for just a moment, it would really fall apart.
It was such that they had to completely reset the show in season 3. They completely reset it.
Yeah. They had to stop mid-season 1 so they could finish writing it. And that was a really bad sign when they had set up so many mystery boxes in the beginning of that season where you're like, wait, you haven't finished? Finish first. My goodness. So it was all a lot of red flags for that show, I would say.
So yeah, this dude is now in charge of the Fallout. I don't know. Like I said, it looks. So as a Fallout fan, it looks the look of it, like the trailer. If you deleted Jonathan Nolan's name from the trailer, this trailer would have me so hyped.
Here's the thing: it looks like he didn't write it, or at least he's not credited yet for writing it. One of the writers did the Tomb Raider, the 2018 one, which was, I think, good. Another one worked on, let's see, handful of things, Silicon Valley, Portlandia, so comedies, actually. So, this is all to say that Jonathan Nolan's name attached. It looks like he directed a few episodes and is a producer. That's all we really know, so, could be anything.
Yeah.
I think it could be anything.
Did you guys see anything in the trailer that excited you? Or did it just generally look like you wanted it to look?
What I'm really psyched about is Walton Goggins as the ghoul character. That's a type of character and basically a character class in Fallout. A ghoul they're basically someone who was burned by the radiation. So I like those characters. They're often my favorite characters in the game. Like there's a PI who's straight out of the 1940s PI who's a ghoul in Fallout 4, and he's my favorite character. They lead an interesting existence, I guess, because they're very outcast, but they're also generally very good people. They just happen to look kind of like monsters. Getting Walton Goggins, who I think he's a good actor, playing a character like that, that's the shit that I'm into. I'm like, fuck yeah, I want to see what that story is going to look like in a Fallout TV show. That's cool.
Cool.
As someone who knows nothing about the game, the presence of Kyle MacLachlan excited me. In the one shot of Kyle MacLachlan, I was like, oh shit, all right.
I have one little aside about Fallout, and that is my girlfriend who lives in England, huge gamer. And I'm sure she'd be really disappointed in me that I know nothing and can't contribute really to Fallout lore or anything. Save for the fact
she's screaming at her phone
save
right
for the
now.
fact that her favorite is Fallout New Vegas, right?
Oh yeah, that most people cite that one. Yeah,
right. So when she comes to visit me in Vegas, she loves to point out all the places in the games that correspond with the neighborhood that I live in.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm inundated enough to where if anybody comes to visit, I can give you the New Vegas tour.
That's wonderful.
You'd be able to find your way through the game pretty well too.
Yeah.
I love it when games do that. Didn't they do? There's a Fallout in Boston as well.
That's 3.
Right?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
wow.
3.
That's 3.
I think.
Man,
Oh wait, that's
I
actually
should-
4. That's 4.
I need to give this a better shot. It feels like a game that I should be playing.
Which one does this come from? The show?
This has the look of the current Bethesda ones. Like I said, it's more of just kind of a setting than
They
it
might,
is
yeah,
a
they might
specific
go
story.
everywhere.
But this has the look of the more recent, Fallout 3 and 4 and New Vegas.
Cool. Should we move on to this next one?
Yeah, we should. Sorry,
just
everyone.
leave-
Emergency vehicles have been going ape shit outside of my house for the past 10
I can't
minutes.
hear it.
Yeah, I
so
can't either.
They might. Yeah, they
Oh,
might
good.
not.
Hopefully
be able
they're
to
not hearing it. I'm doing my best to like mute when I'm not talking.
It's tough. It always distracts me, even if people can't hear it. You know what I mean? And that's worse because you have like weird pauses and react like
Right.
nobody else can hear it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
exactly. Anyway, sorry.
This is Leave the World Behind.
Yeah.
This is produced by the Obamas, I believe.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out. I think it's about like a hacking fucking thing. Like the
Is it? It looks
some-
like Supernatural. I thought.
don't know.
I'm looking at it right
don't-
now, and yeah, it looks like there's some kind of very vague natural disaster kind of movie.
So here's the what IMDb says. A family's getaway to a luxurious rental home takes an ominous turn when a cyber attack knocks out their devices, and two strangers appear at their door. And I agree with you two where it feels more supernatural than that. It just makes me nervous that Obama is like, this is the first movie, and he's like, this is very important. We need to tell people about this story. What do you know?
I mean, he's
Obama?
produced other things, but yeah,
Okay, that's fair.
they have produced other things. They had,
It's
they got a fat contract with Netflix.
Oh yeah, it's also just generally weird, right? Like I'm not.
It is a little
necessarily
weird.
against
It is a little weird.
But
I mean,
it's weird for a former president to just be like, I'm making movies, and you're like, all right.
they probably I mean, they probably said that the first president who started doing like speaking tours and getting paid like $100,000 to talk at a graduation.
I mean, we've had presidents who made movies and then became president.
It's
So
true.
I don't know.
They did it in reverse order.
There's no rules here. There's no rules.
I know it is a little odd for like just like a kind of standard thriller to be produced by the Obamas.
I know there were interviews with writers or people who are like, I got notes from Obama from this, and it's like, how do you ignore those notes? Like, it would be hard to.
Yeah, the president has some
Yeah.
notes.
What do you guys think about this, though?
Yeah, the first lady has some notes.
Yeah, I can't tell. I mean, it looks like a supernatural thriller. I think Tom nailed it. I can't make heads or tails of it.
I like that it has Ethan Hawke and Julia Roberts in it.
And Mahershala Ali.
That's right. Yeah,
that's a fucking cast.
yeah.
and like,
it's got a good cast.
Again, I'm sure like when they're like, you want to be in this Obama produced movie, they could probably cast a wide net of people interested in that.
Well, and the director is somebody too.
Kevin Bacon's also in it.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah, you get a Bacon in there.
Yeah, I'm that alone. That cast, I'm into it.
Oh, it's Sam.
you know?
It's Sam Esmail. It's Mr.
Esmail?
Robot and
Oh, it's the robot.
Mr. Robot
Okay.
and Briar Patch and a couple other things.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it looks like a decent thriller. You know, like they're not telling us much.
Nope.
It's in theaters now, but
Yeah.
it'll be on. Wait,
I think it's on Netflix today, actually.
Yeah, it's on Netflix
So,
today. Shit.
I actually
I
kind
was
of
trying to-
appreciate it. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jamie.
I was just gonna say, I was trying to figure like when I first like took a glimpse at it, like if it's like the story of a more evil Airbnb. Like I couldn't quite.
Yeah, but I kind of don't mind that necessarily. Like the trailer felt tense, even though I wasn't entirely clear on what was happening. I like the cast. The president wants me to. The former president and first lady want me to watch this.
I'll watch it.
So I actually
Yeah,
kind of appreciate
patriotic
that they
duty
don't.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just saying, I appreciate that they don't really tell you too much because I like that. Obviously, that's a gripe we have
Yes.
a lot on this show.
That
Trailers
said-
show you too much.
Well, and I was
This
gonna
is
say, I was
you-
just
you-
gonna
you
say that out of all the trailers, this is the one that kind of skirts back from doing. Well, we're just gonna show you the whole movie in snippets.
Yes.
Yeah,
So I found that
appreciate
refreshing.
that. For that reason, it also like this feels. I'm sure the movie doesn't feel this way. This feels like this could have been a Shyamalan movie. Does that make sense?
Oh,
like the
yeah.
trailer
it is a little bit
gives-
happening. It is a little bit
Yeah,
happening.
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
happening cabin. The cat
Knock at the
cabin.
knock at the cabin
Like
or
it's
whatever.
yeah, like it's cryptic enough in the trailer that like I actually got like faint Shyamalan vibes. But yeah,
A
I'm
shy Amalan.
nice. Yeah, I'm into this. I'll watch this.
Yeah, I'll watch this on Netflix. It's on Netflix right now.
Exactly.
Guys.
I'm extremely excited about this next one. It's already getting good reviews, which makes me even more excited. This is I.S.S. This is I thought this was a premise everybody has come up with. Lord knows I thought up this premise. If you go on you ever go on TikTok and there'll be like those animations of like astronauts on the moon and they look up and the world explodes.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Everybody's had this idea, I think. It's people on the space station and then suddenly a nuclear war breaks out on Earth and they're all looking down like, uh-oh, that's probably not good. And it turns out we are, at war. America's at war with Russia, and then they get messages up, which is a real dick move from the countries. They're just like, yeah, fuck them up, fuck the other side up.
Take over the space station.
Right. I would be like, absolutely not. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? But yeah, that's the premise. From the director of Blackfish, which is weird information.
Listen, you got to diversify.
Yeah.
No person's a monolith, too. Dave.
Yeah.
People contain multitudes.
It is a terrifying premise from the point of view of the folks on the I.S.S.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You wouldn't stop shitting your pants.
Oh no! Yeah,
right.
Sorry.
Oh no! The only thing I think they did the right thing with making, because it looks like it's a thriller where they're actually going to fight the Russians. I get why. I feel like the most realistic thing would be that no one would do that. They'd be
right. Your first impulse wouldn't be to fight the only other remnants of humanity.
Yeah, your colleagues that you were just working and living with. Moments ago.
How are you going to fight? So you were just singing fucking Winds of Change with them. How are you going to fight?
Right. Yeah, also they're astronauts. I'm pretty sure they don't know how to fight either. Like, that's the other thing. It would be really funny if it was just like these nerds trying to fight and they were all terrible at it. No, that seems unrealistic, but I could almost immediately see writing a movie like this and realizing that something has to happen to keep it going. So I get it.
Yeah, it'd be pretty shitty just watch an hour and a half of them just figuring out their rations and
that. Yeah, I will say something like that. The movie Gravity pulled it off. They could have thought of other things, but I get it. Again, I want to see people have a knife fight in zero gravity.
Yeah, no, it's cool, and it's it reminds me a little bit of Lifeboat.
Yeah.
I like that the Game of Thrones Pirate King is in this. He's one of the Russians. You can't put that guy on a space station.
Also, Devil's in it.
It's like putting a baboon on a spaceship, like in Brad Astronaut.
Yeah.
But Chris Messina, Devil, famous for Devil, is in it. So
he is in it
too. Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm into this one. It looks like it looks like a pretty good thriller. Corny. It's gonna be corny, but it's a cool idea.
I'm most excited for this because again, it's one of those premises that I'm like, damn, someone finally did it. That's great. I can't wait to watch this fucking ridiculous film.
Yeah. Great.
It's movies.
Sorry, what were you saying?
Nothing. I was just agreeing.
It's I don't know. I think this is a delay. I think this is. Hold on. Let me double check. This might be. Oh, this is the second. I'm the second most excited for this film. This is the film I'm second most excited for on this list, I think.
Yeah. I'm pretty much, having watched all these, I'm saving my hype for something a little more towards the end.
That's fair. Yeah, there's a few things towards the end.
No, Dave, I love this for you. I love this for you especially.
Oh yeah. I don't know.
But
I just think
am
this
into
is a
this.
stupid fun plot.
This is pure. This is pure. I love it.
Yeah. This one looks good too. Griselda. What is this? The Netflix?
This is a Netflix series.
Yeah. Lady Scarface, right?
Yeah.
Is that what this is?
Griselda Blanco.
Real person. Yeah, for sure.
Real person. Extremely cold-blooded person.
Oh yeah, Robert did covered her on Behind the Bastards.
I'm pretty sure. Did they? I feel like there's been characters based off of her. Like they did that Cannibal, the character in Hannibal at the beginning, that lady who has the baby strapped on her.
Oh.
I think that might have been.
Oh yeah, right. The movie Hannibal.
And the movie Hannibal. I don't know, but apparently, according to the notes here, Tom, what you said, Tom, there's a Lifetime movie about her as well.
Yeah, starring Catherine Zeta-Jones.
I'll watch that. I'll watch the shit out of that.
Yeah, no,
what do you guys think of this?
This looks good. I like Sofia Vergara.
Was this a movie or a TV show?
I believe this is a series on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's from the makers of Narcos.
Oh, okay, yeah.
All right.
It looks like it's glorifying her a bit, and I
For
would
sure,
say,
yeah.
when is that different than any movie about any criminal ever made?
Yeah.
Who doesn't like an extreme anti-hero just tearing ass through 8 episodes or something?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's one scene where she's beating the fucking Christ out of that dude with a bat. I'm like, yeah, watch this.
Yeah.
Beat his ass.
Yeah, I'm into it. Yeah, I doubt she's the. Yeah, I doubt she
No,
comes
I
out
mean
as
it's
the hero.
gonna be like a Scarface, The Godfather thing where it's like, oh
Right.
yeah, the rise is great, but the fall is terrible.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
I believe the actual person is
She
in jail?
is dead. She's been dead for about
Oh.
10 years.
Spoiler alert,
Okay.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
Sorry.
I have nothing else to say about this.
Uh-uh.
I think it looks neat.
Yeah, little gangster series. Nice.
Yeah.
Little gangster biopic series. It looks good.
Yeah.
Looks good. I've not watched any of Narcos, but
Neither have I. I bet it's good.
Nah,
Everybody
here's
says
great.
It's good.
yeah, everybody's
I trust them.
into it. Yeah, I trust.
I'll
what
take
I
their word
hear.
for it.
I love how unqualified we are.
Yeah. To comment on this particular trailer.
Yeah.
Seems neat.
This next one. This
Oh,
is kind of
man.
neat.
Yeah, I'm really
This is
on
like
board for this
really
one.
really hip Life of Brian. What is this?
Yeah, the Book of Clarence. It's got
Lakeith Stanfield.
Lakeith Stanfield, James McAvoy, and they sneak it right in the fucking end that Benedict Cumberbatch is in it, which that's just made me laugh. It's Life of Brian. It's a guy who lives the same time as Jesus, who starts a grift saying, "I'm also the Messiah," to make money. They tell you way too much in this trailer, in my opinion.
Yeah, I thought so
They seem
too.
to take us through the whole damn movie.
Yeah, it's one of
including
those.
Yeah, including Jesus showing up like he's Thor, with magic
Fucking
powers.
very-
Magneto Jesus, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely Life of Brian by way of Inglorious Bastards is the
Yeah.
trailer, and it's such a fucking over the top idea. Because I mean, obviously, Life of Brian is a very old movie, but like this is like that additional level of the Inglorious Bastards edge that I can't believe this movie exists.
I know.
It looks so cool and weird, and it's such a weird idea. I'm
It
really,
looks-
really into this. Yeah.
Surprisingly more earnest than Life of Brian.
Yeah, it looks real
Like, it has,
genuine.
like,
They
Well,
show us the
yeah.
whole movie. Well, not real genuine, but
there's like action in it.
right.
It's like an
but
action.
they do show.
More of a sincere turn.
Yeah,
It's not a
Yeah.
comedy. I don't think. It doesn't look like
appear,
it.
It doesn't appear to
It's,
be.
it's
Although
listed as comedy, adventure, drama.
yeah, it definitely
it-
looks funny, like tongue in cheek to an extent. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it's necessarily a comedy.
It's more that the comedy is less what you'd expect, right? Life of Brian.
It's going to have its
you'd
moments,
expect
yeah.
this- yeah, you'd expect this to almost present like a parody, and it's more genuine than that. But I don't think I think they know it's silly. You know, I'm
How
really
could you
hoping.
not? Yeah.
I think it would be very funny if Benedict Cumberbatch played Jesus and he just had the Doctor Strange like goatee, and they just made him Doctor Strange. But I'm guessing that's not the case. I do think it's bold to give Jesus like Magneto powers.
Yeah,
It's weird.
there's
Like
it's gonna definitely catch some people the wrong way. I'm sure.
it's weird.
Oh, that's
right?
going to be
It's-
greght.
Yeah,
I look forward to that.
I mean, I'm very excited about it.
Yeah. Or it'll
Boy.
go by with I don't and with nobody.
No,
making
this
a
is going to be
fuss.
universally accepted. Come on.
It's coming out January, so they're in theaters. So they're definitely the studio is sort of like sneaking it out, right? Like we haven't completely got over that January release schedule, right?
No, that's true. Yeah, that's still true.
But it looks legit. Like I'm pretty excited for this.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Yep.
Yeah. It's also like if you're going to make a movie, you might as well make a weird fucking movie, right? You might as well make one like this.
You'd hope so. We need more of it.
Right, exactly. Like it stands out in a very delightful way.
Yeah.
Should we talk about this is a TV show, Monarch: Legacy of Monsters.
Sure.
People might forget that in the King Kong in the cinematic universe, the modern King Kong Godzilla Monarch is it's the name of the fucking organization. And I point that out because right away I'm like, terrible title. Like, call it Godzilla Legacy of Monsters.
Yeah, what are you doing? Yeah.
Yeah, because Monarch, it's not Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., okay? Like, we're not following this as much as you want us to be.
Yeah.
Right. Well, as it was going, I saw I couldn't tell what it was at first, and I was trying to make the Monarch connection, and I thought, oh, okay, Godzilla. So is Monarch's the big, like, and then I was like, no, it's Mothra. So I was trying to figure out what the fuck a Monarch was.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's just
this is the problem.
It's the name of their stupid club. Yeah, call the show Godzilla, you knobs. Like, why would you do that?
It's because these like, I think I mentioned this recently. I watched all of the new Godzillas and Kongs recently, just one after the other, and they're fine. You know, all the opinions I had on them the first time I watched them stand. But one of the things that's very obvious watching them all is like, oh God, you really wanted to be Marvel. And nobody wants that.
No.
Nobody wants that.
No.
And that's okay.
Although I hear Godzilla -1 whips ass. So
I was just about to bring that up. Yeah.
That's not this.
This is the legendary. No. These are the American movies.
No, there's a real Godzilla out there that we ought to be watching it.
Yeah, there is, and it's apparently dope as shit, and I can't wait to see it.
Me too.
My comment on this is I should be way more excited about a Kurt Russell in a Godzilla TV show.
Right. The problem is that
they're just these movies have been, for me, I liked Skull Island and Godzilla vs. Kong, okay, but I thought overall these movies are really fucking boring.
They're mid.
Yeah.
And then meanwhile Godzilla -1 comes out and they're like, see?
This is how it's supposed apparently. To be. Yeah.
And that's sort of the problem all along is like all of the Godzillas, watching them again, they're all like, once you get past the spectacle of the effects and you're just watching the movie for the second time, it's just very boring, and none of it makes sense. You start noticing more and more plot holes, which like who cares, but also like it adds up. And then this show, I'm like,
you're looking for those things because you're bored,
right? And then I think there's an element of destruction fatigue, which is like you watch this and you're like,
it's just noise after a point.
Right, and it's like, is the whole world going to just be rubble by the end of this show? Like, are they going to have a different plot? Like a TV show, maybe you could spend more time on the characters, but so far, none of these movies really had good characters either. So it's like, what? I don't know if I could watch a season of this.
Dare I say, minimum hype.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't pass muster now.
Real minimal hype.
Right.
Real whimper of a hype. Yeah.
I don't know if it's a controversial opinion, is that this show does look better shot than the next trailer, which is Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire.
Just real quick, I do like the idea of having Kurt Russell and Wyatt Russell play the same character in different timelines on this show.
Yes.
I think that's a cool idea.
Yes, they built a whole movie around that, or show around that idea, I feel like. Yeah.
Which, I mean, that at least tells me that they tried to do something with this character. So maybe that's interesting. I just wanted to say that, so we're not just dumping on it.
For sure. And I feel bad about this next show because I really like Adam Wingard, and he is directing this. Dan Stevens is in this. Rebecca Hall is in this. Godzilla vs. Kong, we said, was a fun movie, but like, did you guys have the same reaction? they didn't feel big at all in any shot of this. In fact, at some points they introduced a new baby Kong, and I was like, I have no idea how big that thing is. They haven't shot it in a way that makes it look big.
No
How
sense
big's that Kong?
of scale. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no scale in this trailer because they're shooting them at like eye level or even above, and then they're in like caves and rocks where there's no scale, where it's like they're not next to buildings. And so for most of the trailer, I was just like, I don't feel like these are big creatures.
Now, and it's just, it looks real chintzy too. It's like, what kind of fucking Land of the Lost bullshit is this? I hate it.
I know, it's a shame.
Yeah, I don't mind the Hollow Earth stuff because it's so out of its head.
Silly.
It's so crazy. But it just doesn't look very interesting in this.
That baby Kong, it fills me with rage.
He sucks.
See, here's why I think like Godzilla -1 works.
Yeah, let's talk about that movie.
Yeah, how often do they make a Godzilla film over there?
I'm not sure. A couple of years.
Every couple of years, right?
Just one recently, I think, before this. I could be wrong, but
I think there's a quarterly quota of Godzilla movies that must be made.
Right.
There are more than 30.
Yes. So they make them every few years, I would argue.
Yeah.
Right.
With some regularity.
And then every few years, they just make one, and it's almost always feels like the same thing. It's like, here's Godzilla, he's gigantic, he fights something, end of movie. And I gotta say, it's working just fine.
Right.
Because it feels like they're hyper-focused on making these movies that are big spectacles, and that they know that, like, Godzilla is a threat. They don't try to go into this, like, elaborate lore.
No. No, you can't new Coke a Godzilla movie. Fuck that.
Right. And maybe I haven't seen them all, so maybe people are listening. They're like, "Oh, that's not quite the truth," but that's how it feels. Where like this feels like this one, Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. Just the name alone, I'm like, fuck,
clunky as shit.
What are you talking about? Yeah, and there's like 10, there's like, or even more than 10. There's like a bunch of Kongs and they're their own society.
Right. There's the one, I love Evil Kong. I love Bald Kong. It's
right.
The Evil Kong. He's just bald
to introduce
and
new
pissed.
villains because they don't, that's the other thing. They don't want Godzilla or Kong to be bad.
Right.
Or seen as bad. So, and I know like that, again, that's kind of par for the course for Godzilla, right? There's always something for him to fight.
I mean, and
like,
certainly in these movies, he's straight up the villain in the Godzilla -1.
Yeah. But it does feel like they're so caught up in lore and them as protagonists, main characters, that the humans are constantly boring. These movies are not shot in a way to make them feel big or powerful. And because they're the protagonists, they're shooting them like protagonists.
Right, it's weird.
So
it just looks like
small.
There really is. I was watching it again with the sound off while we've been talking about it, which isn't it. You should do that.
Yeah.
You'll notice just how nothing the trailer is when you don't
know
have
what it is. It's Rise of the Planet of the Kongs. It's
yeah, it is.
Yeah, not interested.
You're right. There is just absolutely nothing to get the scale in. So it just like the last shot, which is just Godzilla and Kong running towards the camera, which is just funny as hell. I love it. Right. But it just looks like an Avengers shot because there's nothing in that shot that tells us how big they are.
Right. The environment is weird. The weird crystal caves. So the crystals are gigantic. So they look.
They're in the crystal cave. Again, they're in the cavern of Steven Seagal's Blues album.
Right. And the crystal, again, making the crystals huge means that they just look to scale with the crystals.
Yeah.
It's shot at eye level. Like it's that sort of thing where it's just like you're forgetting the core thing about kaiju films, which is that look how big they are.
Yeah, it's
that's
giant
the
monsters.
Whole thing.
Yeah, you got to fill that frame with as much Kong as possible.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you go back to like
put his dick in there. What are we beating around the bush for?
Oh, absolutely.
Let Kong swing dong.
I've been saying Peter Jackson needs to do a dong edit.
Look, I don't want to show my cards or anything, but there's parodies in the works, on my side of things.
Excellent.
These cowards in Hollywood need to take it to the next level if they want me to keep buying tickets.
If you go watch the T-Rex fight and you just mentally insert a dick in that fight, it's very funny.
just flopping around.
Yeah, swinging at the camera. But yeah, again, I really like Adam Wingard, and so like I don't know, I'll take some mushrooms and see this.
Sure,
but they've
it
all
looks
kind of
pretty.
been the same. Yeah,
Kinda,
they've
some of
all
the
been
shots.
very pretty, fun in theaters, and then like you never think about them again.
Oh yeah,
You know what there should-
Yeah,
You know what there should be? There should be a thing where you want to like give to that person's great. I'm not going to see that movie, but I wish him well. So you should be able to just put that like $11, $12 to their Patreon, or you know, just give them the money directly.
just
Or,
put
like,
it
there
into
should
a
be, like,
trust.
There should be like a vote where like you can put yourself down to like not going to watch that, but I like the people in it, and so Hollywood could look at that and go like, okay, got it, all right, acknowledged. Because yeah, I mean, if I were this director, how could you not make this? You know, like he's getting tons of money. I'm sure a lot of it's just CGI. I think there was an interview where he was saying that like this is like their entire sequences that are just all in a computer, and I'm like, great, that doesn't make me any more excited. But again, it's Godzilla. What do you expect? But like that sounds like a fairly fun job, you know.
Yeah,
So
making
I
a big
get it.
effects dinosaur movie, sure, why not?
Yeah, fuck it, why not?
Dave,
Yeah.
I am so very excited to talk about this next thing.
This next and final trailer is called No Way Up. If you haven't watched the trailer, I mean, everybody's got to be talking about it, right?
Pause it
Everybody's
right
gotta be
now.
talking
We'll
about it.
wait. Go watch the trailer
Yeah.
for No Way Up, starring Colm Meaney.
Starring Cole
Starring
Meany
Colm Meaney.
and sharks.
Fucking Chief O'Brien.
I am so excited. It's all I ever wanted.
Yeah, he's gonna Chief O'Brien some sharks. Probably not.
This is one of the, this is perfect. I just want to give the $13 to this fucking Miles' Patreon. That's
Oh man, I'm so excited.
Yeah,
I'm so
it's-
fucking excited.
So the premise is a bunch of goofballs are on a plane and it crashes in the ocean and sinks. They're trapped inside. One of them, I guess, is some sort of influencer or actress who has a bodyguard that is Colm
Yeah.
Meaney. And Colm Meaney very clearly is eaten by the shark pretty early in the film.
Yeah, that's what's very funny. In the
you-
trailer, he just suddenly vanishes.
Isn't
from
in the
trailer.
movie anymore.
Yeah.
Well, you skip to the end. See, I was drawn in because, oh, wow, what a scenario. Plane horribly crashes into the middle of the ocean. They sink to the bottom. And I thought, oh, a kick-ass survival movie.
Yeah.
And then monsters. I said, oh, fuck, it's a monster
like
movie.
the
They
sharks.
ruined my movie. And then it's fucking Bruce. It's a goddamn shark. And a
Yeah.
killer shark at that. It's out for them.
From the director of Hollow Man 2, mind
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
And
that seems
Sniper
like...
Ultimate Kill.
Seems like the pedigree with straight-to-video
well,
sequels to
I do-
marginally successful films.
I do have a compliment for this movie, is that I actually think the shark in the trailer looks good because they don't show it. They show it, it's all enshrouded in darkness, and it's actually kind of
Scarier,
good-
yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a creepy shark in the trailer. I keep saying in the trailer because Lord knows what it's going to be in the, in the rest of the thing.
Right.
But I got to give them credit. The shark looked creepy. It also stars the nephew of David Attenborough, Will Attenborough, like he's in it. So like this is a cast, man. I'm excited.
Real powerhouse cast.
Fucking
Oh, meanie. And like the moment you realize he has to like do a lot, I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah, he's not doing
Like-
any of this. He's checking out of this movie in 15 minutes. It does seem like the shark was kind of unnecessary. I do like that it's there because, like Dave was saying, they're doing some interesting stuff with it. Like the very last shot of the trailer is this person in the fuselage of the plane trying to put some bag on or something, and the shark is just kind of very slowly drifting towards him with its mouth open. Like the shark is behaving like a fucking maniac, and I love that for this movie.
Yeah, really unsettling face to face. Somebody's going to lose their face, and it's not going to be the shark.
Yeah.
Can fish have like a social disorder? What's wrong with that shark?
The fish isn't actually looking him in the eye.
Yeah, what's going on with that shark?
I'm just gonna say it. This is the best movie ever.
Yeah, Cole Meany's
I'm so
gonna get eaten by
excited
a
for this
shark.
movie.
The shark is like deliberately fucking with these people. It's being
I'm
weird
so-
on purpose.
I want because again, there's a line where Colm says like, "I can't do this with you. I'm sorry." Like it's clear that he's like giving a speech of "I'm going to die" speech as he goes to do the suicide mission. I'm hoping he bursts out of the shark in the third act, like Colm erupts from the shark's stomach.
Vice versa.
Like,
I hope the shark erupts from him, like as it's their take on the Deep Blue Sea. It just bursts out of him like a chest burst.
Yeah. Let's see. It's released in January 26th. I'm guessing not in theaters. We're gonna be front of line for this movie wherever it comes out.
Found a way to give us fucking sharks on a plane, so that's nice.
One of the characters even says that in the trailer. What's a shark doing on a plane? Because you're at the bottom of the ocean. What a stupid thing to say. What a stupid thing to say. We should feed you to the shark. That is a very
dumb thing.
We're underwater right now, dickhead. That's why the shark's on the plane. You fucking idiot.
Oh, man.
That should be the very next line.
Oh. Yeah, what are you saying that for a trailer?
You're doing bits?
What's wrong
with
you?
Are you trying out bits right now?
I'm so fucking excited for this.
You jerk. Cole Meany is dead.
And you're working on your Type 5, you motherfucker.
And you're trying to hit us with zingers. Colm is bit and he's bleeding.
Oh, shit.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this movie.
Fuck.
This was when I said the movie I was second most excited for. I was talking about this as being the movie I'm first. So it goes, for me, it goes No Way Up, I.S.S., then Furiosa.
Hell yeah, yep. No Way Up.
So fucking excited.
Look over at the shark. It's eating wax fruit. Oh man, why is it doing that?
It's with the shark.
Making unbroken eye contact with them. Shark is fucking weird, right?
Weird shark.
Yeah, weird shark. I want to make that movie.
Shark's pretty weird, don't you think?
It's like the trailer shot is just them getting all serious. You guys, I think this shark is a fucking creep.
Yeah.
Just creep shark.
Yeah. Should we
we should. We should name some producers.
Some more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big ol' thank you to Dan Hackroyd. Thank you very much. Thank you to Davey, the ghost of East Las Vegas Francis. Thank you. Thank you to David Knife Boot Henson. Thank you to Deborah's awesome. Barbara is great and cancer can go to hell. Thank you. Thank you to Dracula, the bus driving vampire. Thank you to Driftless and his elephant army. Demand you watch Lair of the White Worm.
Sure.
Can do. Thank you to E.T., the extravagant terrestrial.
Thank you.
Thank you to Exploding Runes.
Thank you.
Thank you to Funky Jim. Mostly comes out at night. Mostly.
Thank you.
Thank you to Happy Holidays from the ghost of Dave Andrew Thomas. Thank you.
All right, let me swoop in here. Thank you to Heathcliff's Helping Handfuls.
Thank you.
Thank you to ImpossibleWorlds.net. Issue 3 is out now. Gorge yourself on our fiction. Gorge.
Thank you.
Thank you to Jay the Crow Baron says, have a great holiday season. Hail Satan.
Hail Satan.
Thank you to Chris Shanovich.
Thank you.
Thank you to Look Mime on a podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mabel. Step on me. Step on me. Thank you to Mackenzie. Fuck shuffling with Willem Dafoe's confusingly large dick. Chill.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mercurial Oz.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mike the Lurker.
Thank you.
And thank you to Mongolian Throat Skanking.
Thank you. All right.
Thanks for helping us out.
Really exciting news week. I do want to say, so the SAG thing, they mostly voted yes. So Hypecast remains. Not much to say about that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's tons to say about that, but
yeah.
We got this news about Sebastian Stan playing a young Donald Trump in a movie called The Apprentice. My one note is like, I don't know, maybe see how his story ends before making a movie about him. But you know,
right, yeah,
that doesn't stop
him.
He
could be the uncontested dictator of the country.
Right, like maybe wait.
I don't know. I don't know. This is also, it's part of this trend. I've talked about it a lot before. But just when we do these really, really fast-tracked biopics or like movies about real-life events like Sully and shit like that is you need to have time, like you're saying, we need to see how historians, we need to have time to like know what the historical ultimate like context of this is going to be.
Yeah. Give it 20 years.
Yeah, give us some time. Stop doing, like, I'm not interested in seeing the SNL version. It's like when they put out W while George W. Bush was still in office. Like, I don't need to see the SNL version of George W. Bush's presidency right now. It's currently still happening.
That's
like,
the other part.
We're still contending with Donald Trump right now. I don't need to watch a fucking movie about him. He won't go away. So I don't need a movie about him right now.
Exactly. It's like, you know what people want? Trump. And it's like, no, not really. Like Brendan Gleeson played him too, and I bet that's a very good performance. Never gonna watch it. No interest.
That was a weird show, the Comey Report, for no other reason than I reviewed it while I was still working at Collider. It was wild to like remember all the things that I had forgotten happened, because so much happened in like the first 6 months of Trump's presidency. Like there was. It was like every fucking day, like every week there was like a huge scandal. Like it was relentless. So like the Comey rule, that's what it was called, not the report. So the Comey rule was at least had some value in that, where watching it, like I didn't realize how much I had forgotten about what happened during those 4 years. It's like, fuck, that's right. This was nuts. But this is, it still had the too soonness to it. And so does this. I don't know.
Yeah, again, he's running this or next year. So it's, I don't know. I don't know who wants this.
No, but I'm fuming that this exists at all. This is the film equivalent of a monument that needs to be torn down now.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, what do we, like, I don't know. It's pointless. It's
I don't know.
It's a pointless exercise.
Again,
it's fucking gross. Like, I hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we have this long election season already, and it's just like, this just adds to the exhaustion.
It's even, giving it the most generous benefit of the doubt. There's no reason to make this. Like, there's nothing. There's nothing to say. There's no observation to make. At
Here's
this
the
point,
thing that bums me out. Apparently, the numbers must say differently, right? Because they keep doing it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Like you'd think no one would fucking watch these, and it fascinates me that they keep making them, because I'm like, surely no one's watching these, are they?
Is this meant for, like, those people?
I don't think so. I think that's the other part. It's always like, look how bad Trump is, and it's like, yeah, I know, like, I don't think it's not going to be pro Trump. I'm guessing it's this. It's a lot of, like, liberal Hollywood. Just like again, since W, and the thing is like, this happens all the time. Like, like the Daily Wire does this too. Yeah, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, this is a Don't Look Up, right? That's essentially what this is.
Exactly, where it's like any politically charged movie that's politically charged, like like this directly contemporary, always just feels like not a great story either. And just sort of like, it's a group of people sort of just like getting out their frustrations, and it's like, no, I get it,
Yeah. Nah, these people are not getting my Patreon dollars. Not a cent.
Nope.
Right.
Nope.
Exactly.
Nothing for you, Sebastian Stan. I'm disappointed in you.
Yep. Anyway, speaking of slow news weeks, I just had to point out this article that's been going around saying Nicolas Cage says he might retire in a few films, and I was like, okay. So he's not retiring.
Right. And also he said, what he said was, oh yeah, I think I want to go to TV. Like, he wants to do TV. So he's definitely not retiring. He just kind of wants to do TV instead of movies. He literally
said after 3 or 4 films, he wants to go to TV. Yeah. And I'm like, how is this? This article is like 1,000 words.
Yeah. It was probably written by a robot.
Yeah.
It simultaneously said he wants to spend the last 15 or so years of his life with his family. So I guess they're going to be on set, or...
Right. I think he's just saying that, like, he's going to do a few films, maybe some TV, and then retire. And it's like, yeah, that sounds right.
Sounds about right. He's 60.
Yeah, he's 60. It's very funny how incredibly nothing this news was.
Yeah.
And when I was looking for news, it like kept showing up, and I'm like, all right, I guess that's news.
I do say there is this, like, I don't know. There's the fact that this was treated like I mean, obviously Nicolas Cage is very popular. He said he might stop acting.
Yeah.
People don't want him obviously to go away because everybody loves him. But like, it does feel like acting and filmmaking is kind of a profession where we're sort of surprised when people retire. It's like,
Yes.
oh, you don't want to just keep working until you die? No, not really.
Right. I think it's because, like, if you're like a construction worker, we're not like, oh yeah, we need 90-year-old construction workers, but we do need like 90-year-old.
We do need old ass motherfuckers for movies.
Yeah. So
Who's
it's
gonna
not
play
like,
grandpa?
Exactly. Nicolas Cage could play a grandpa.
It's true.
Any other thoughts on this?
Nope.
No.
All right, final news. The Marvels is officially the lowest grossing MCU movie.
Good. Fuck
Even
'em.
though, even though it's like, it's like there is definitely like a review double standard, right? Where it's like other films with the same reviews and like are being treated. But I assume it's because like, every other Marvel film had a certain expectation for it. I don't think it has anything to do with the film itself. I think people are just pretty done.
Tired.
I mean, yeah. Sorry, Jamie.
Yeah, I was just saying we're fucking tired. It doesn't. Who gives a shit?
It's hard. Like I wrote a few things down in the notes because I think that's definitely true. Because you can just look at all of the superhero movies that came out this year. All of them bombed except for Guardians of the Galaxy 3. That was the only one that did well. Like Ant-Man did not do well. Flash did not do well. Blue Beetle did not do well. Marvel's bombed.
I watched Blue Beetle, by the way, just casually. That movie is very like standard issue superhero movie, and so I think what it is that like it has nothing to do with quality.
Exactly.
It's like it's either extremely good, like Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was extremely good.
It was also that was also the finish of a series too, so it had people were attached to it. It was the send off of these characters.
Had a lot of goodwill built up behind
it.
Exactly. And I think that's what it is that what they're learning is that you can't just have a superhero film anymore. It's not enough. People have to be interested, have to give a shit.
Right, and it can't just look like another origin story with the sense of the case of Blue Beetle, even though I've heard that movie's fine. Like I heard the Marvels is fine. But anyway, so that's there's the fatigue aspect. Then there's like the movies just haven't been that great lately. Like a lot of the MCU ones have, like Ant-Man was dog shit.
It was bad.
There's been bad ones before that. The COVID thing, it's I think this movie was filmed and produced during COVID.
Probably.
Yeah, and then also plus the SAG and the strike, so they couldn't promote it. It was like a perfect storm of stuff around the movie. It's just
they just need to dial it back, and I think they already know, right?
Yeah. Oh, also, isn't this like the first one that sort of requires you to have seen the shows, because both
feels that way.
I think her name is Monica Rambeau and Miss Marvel? Are both from TV shows, right?
Yeah.
There's a barrier for entry.
Yeah, I think so. I think this is the first one where you kind of have to have seen the shows to understand what's happening.
I think technically you don't, but like, it's hubris where they're like, everybody loves us. They're going to watch all these TV shows. They're going to do this work. They're going to spend thousands of hours. And what happened is they just stopped giving us quality stuff.
And just sort of expected to make $1 billion each time. Like even Bob Iger admitted that in the article you linked. But there's the thing that actually kind of like, I would be completely like, good, fine, fuck them. They deserve to like stumble because this was just such a, they were such hubris that they didn't care about the quality anymore. But I am bothered by how much like the trades and the discussion is like hanging the failure of the movie on Nia DaCosta, the director.
Yeah, which she did Candyman, right?
Yeah, which was great.
I was gonna say she's incredible.
Yeah.
I love her.
And so
she doesn't deserve any of that.
No, so like these, because it's clear that the failure of the movie didn't, and like the reviews weren't great, but they were pretty average. Like it didn't get bad reviews. So it just seems
again,
like
I'm sure it's fine.
Right, the failure of the movie doesn't seem to be the movie itself. But they were like these weird things, like headlines on the Hollywood Reporter, like, oh, she didn't go to the rap party. And you read the article, and it's like, well, she wasn't invited. And it's like, oh, she was in London working on her next film when the Marvels was in post-production. And it's like, Marvel famously, like notoriously, locks the directors out of post-production.
Right, she wasn't invited to the rap party.
Something like it was some party, like, and it was like the headline was like, "Here's why DaCosta bailed on this party." Like they used the word "bailed," and if you read the article, it's like, "Oh, she wasn't invited."
Right, and again, we all know this. Famously, Marvel doesn't give a fuck about the director.
It's not a filmmaker's studio.
Right, my assumption is she got in, got some money, and left.
Yeah.
I never once assumed differently.
No.
And that's fine.
That's what this machine is. Like Marvel's a machine.
Right, and they put that out, right? If they want directors to give a shit, they should have treated them better from the start. And so, like, that's what all this is. This is the end of a long line of things that it's like, I mean, it should have happened sooner if you ask me. But it, I'm hoping they sort of maybe wrap up a few things and then move on. Make X-Men in a different universe or something, which I hear is in the Marvels. Apparently there's an X-Men thing.
There was allegedly, yeah.
Yeah, but like, people like X-Men, they like Fantastic Four.
Sure,
maybe
people
just
still like superheroes. It's just fucking pump the brakes.
Yeah, do like one,
it's been
maybe two
nothing
a year.
but superheroes for 12 years.
Yeah, maybe one a year because DC is going to keep doing them too. Yeah. And I know it's not Marvel's fault, but it's
it's just like there needed to be a reckoning. There needed to be like a the whole industry is cyclical, so it's like, look, it wasn't going to be superheroes forever.
The thing I keep saying, that's I think the problem that they have to think about. Like if I could like kidnap Bob Iger and bring him to my house and tie him up, which I'm not going to do.
Damn, it was sounding hot there for a second.
I know.
Definitely not going to do that thing.
Definitely not going to do that. No,
definitely not saying anyone should do that thing.
People obviously compare it to Westerns, which I don't think is a fair comparison.
No, but like just in the broad sense.
Yeah, the big thing, and I think I've said it before in a Hypecast, is that like studios used to get obsessed with genres, right? Like slashers or Westerns. And then when that didn't work, the studios could just move on. This is like the only occasion where the genre is the studio.
Yeah.
Meaning that like Marvel, there's like thousands of jobs hanging in the balance of whether or not we like superheroes. I think Marvel should seriously consider producing non-superhero or non-comic book films. Why not? I think they might need to think about
like
that
the
fact.
Obamas making just kind of a regular thriller. Just
Yeah,
like Marvel making like just a regular thriller.
Look, Marvel, you have tons of money. Just be a studio. Maybe in 20 years, 50 years from now, they're like no different than MGM or Paramount, where we just say like, oh yeah, Marvel, they make movies. Because that's kind of what needs to happen. They can't hinge their entire economy off of superhero films. They never should have. That was a bad idea. I feel bad. Because I feel like a lot of people are going to lose their jobs.
I don't know.
Marvel.
I think a lot of TV shows and movies they announced are going to get canceled.
Yes. I was just watching Spider-Man. I forgot, the last Spider-Man ends on a sad note with the assumption that there'll be more Spider-Men. And it's like, will there? There's so
Doesn't
many
seem
loose
like
threads.
it.
Yeah, that I feel like are just going to fucking
You're
disappear.
right. The end of that movie is now crushingly depressing.
Right. And I would argue, if you make a trilogy, end the trilogy. Don't be like, yeah, we'll make more. That's the problem. They kept being like, we're gonna make more, and then one day they won't, and it'll just be like these weird sad endings.
Yeah, now Sally Field is dead and your friends don't remember you.
Yeah.
Shit.
End of trilogy.
That's our friendly neighbor. That's old Webhead.
Yeah. It's a real bummer.
That's what they fucking did to Peter Parker.
Right. Guardians 3 knew better. Guardians 3 was like, let's end it and actually end it.
Right. And Guardians still is bittersweet, but it ends. It's a completion. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Because they knew we need to end things. But yeah, Spider-Man was like, we'll make 6
You're
more
right.
of these.
I haven't thought about that. That's absolutely bonkers. You're right, because I haven't watched the movie since it came out.
Yeah, it ends.
Man, that's nuts
tragically.
that it ends that way. Because they're almost certain there probably aren't going to be any more Tom Holland Spider-Man movies.
No, he's probably like, I want to do other shit. You know, like call me in 20 years when you want old Spider-Man to show up and everybody claps or something. But yeah, it's just like, yeah.
Oh,
This
man.
this is the shit that was always the problem,
Yeah.
and we're starting to see it.
Wow.
You know, he was in The Impossible. Remember The Impossible?
No. What is
No,
that?
what is that?
About a tsunami.
Yes,
with,
now I do.
Naomi Watts, Ewan McGregor, Tom Holland was a wee little kid in it.
A wee bairn.
Yeah, that's a movie that exists.
It does.
Sorry.
It does. Let's name some producers.
All right.
You fool.
Big old thank you to Mr. Tell your wife how many Patreon subscribers you have before you agree to buy a house. Thank
Good
you.
advice.
Thank you to musical guest Rob Ritchie.
Thank you.
Thank you to No One Can Hear You Screaming Space McNulty. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you to Norm from Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you to Pete Forpagel.
Thank you.
Thank you to Numino Ultra Microscopic Silicol Volcanoconiosis Anti-Disestablishmentarianism Jones.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you to Ed Nug.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you to Rev MD.
Thank you.
Thank you to Ricky Cilantro.
Hey, thanks.
Thank you to Rosemary's Baby from Eraserhead.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Screaming Horse Pyramid.
Thank you.
Thank you to Sorry Cop, world's most laughable centrist.
Thank you so much. All right, let me swoop in here. Thank you to Steven.
Thank
you to
you.
the conveniently placed self-destruct button on the top of every baby's head.
Thank you.
Thank you to the Midnight Patron with patrons at midnight. Yeah, baby, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you to the Oatmeal Savage.
Thank you.
Thank you to the To Be Terror Bunny says the strikes may be over, but egg David Zaslav for fun and profit.
And how.
Thank you to these 7 Bs.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tiger Drawers, Pratt, Thompson. Raindrops keep falling on my head.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tip Drizzle.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tux.
Thank you, Tux.
Thank you to Vincent.
Thank you.
Thank you to Why Didn't You Take a Flying Fuck at the Moon?
Thank you.
And thank you to your mom.
Woo.
Woo!
All right.
Dave,
Mm-hmm.
we've come to the end of the road,
Yeah.
as the Boys to Men once said.
We've learned so much. We
have learned a lot. And I'm hoping perhaps you have one more little surprise for everyone. Maybe one more movie. Maybe a movie that deserves more hype, Dave.
Yeah, I do.
You do? It's a Christmas
I'm not-
miracle.
Not only do I have a movie that deserves more hype, but a movie about time traveling crack that deserves more hype.
Fuck yeah.
This is called
Go
this
on.
is called Time Addicts. This is coming out December 25th on VOD in the UK, which I would then assume means the United States. This is Australian. I wasn't. This is getting decent reviews, and it's one of those premises that I'm like, damn, I should have thought of this. So stupid. It's exactly that. It's time traveling crack. It's crack that you smoke and you travel through time.
Mm-hmm.
It's about 2 crackheads who, in Australia, in Melbourne, who break into a house. I think they're instructed to get this crack by like an unknown employer. Like they're trying to make some money. And one of them smokes the crack and goes back like 25 years into the same house. And the other one smokes crack and goes to another timeline.
In the future.
In the future. And it's a very smart premise from an indie perspective because the whole movie takes place in one house during 3 different time periods, which makes it both large and affordable to shoot, which I really like. And the house, as they change things, the house gets weirder. And in fact, it goes into a fucking dystopic future at one point, which I guess is the theme of today's episode. But again, they do it all from this one house. They talk about like at one point, just like a bunch of bloody handprints are on the walls suddenly. Like a bunch of shit starts changing. The world gets worse. And apparently the reviews are saying it's like a surprisingly like also kind of touching, like it does good job with the characters, while being a movie about time traveling crack.
Yeah, I was looking at this. My first instinct was, oh, this would be a really good Terry Gilliam movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks real
Those are
sharp. It
time
looks cool.
bandits, but crack. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun.
I love how weird the idea is. And yeah, it's 100%. This is something I could have seen you writing.
Yeah, this is.
I mean, it's a very good premise.
When people say like high concept, this is what I'm hoping for.
Yeah. Yes. Like.
Yeah. Like high on crack.
This is the best case
Jesus.
scenario. There you go. He
Yeah.
did it.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody check out the trailer, Time Addicts. There's not much more to say about it. It's about time traveling crack. You know.
Yeah, there's the pitch. Like,
there's your pitch. If that doesn't get your butt in the seat, then, you know.
it looks
Fellas.
pretty great, yeah.
It looks fun.
Crack, but time.
Yeah.
Tell me how this hits your ears. Crack what that sends you through time. Like back in time. Forwards and backwards. Either way.
Nice.
Honest, mister?
Forwards and backwards.
It's going to be so good.
Oh, man. I think that has done it. That is a sode.
Yeah. Sounds like a sode. Fuck yeah.
Woo.
Woo. Jamie, thank you so much for being on the episode.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course.
Why don't you plug once more? What you
Sure.
got going on?
Real quick plug for my boys over at 1-900 Hot Dog. You know them, you love them.
Woo.
I do all the bits in it, like when you listen to episodes and you're like, oh, geez, I wish that wasn't in there. That's me. I did that. And one last plug for my podcast, The Approximate Podcast. Season 3 has just started. And you can go to approximatepodcast.com and find all the links to however you want to listen or watch it.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Check that out. I'll plug our Patreon, patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed, GAMEFULOY, unemployed. We have exclusive podcasts on there like Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Fox Mulder's Maniac, Star Trek The Next Futurama, Spiel Boys. We watch movies every Friday night with our patrons. Movies like No Way Out, Up, starring Cole Meany and a shark.
That might be how Colm pronounces it. No, they aren't.
You're right.
We also have a store. Head over to gamefullyunemployed.com. You can find a link to our Teespring store where you have all kinds of cool original artwork and designs. You get on t-shirts, mugs, stickers, posters, Colm meanies, Colm's meanie, all sorts of
Cole's
things.
Meany.
So slap your Colm meanie peepers onto that. All right.
Your Cole Meanies.
Your meanie peepers. Your chief O peepers. Say goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Our music is produced by Chris Corlew. You can follow him on Twitter at @thecorlew, CORLEW, and find more music at shipwreckedsailor.bandcamp.com. Our channel artwork is produced by Michael Vincent Bramley. You can find more of his artwork at instagram.com/mvbramleyart. Our episode artwork is produced by Justin Brown. You can follow him on Twitter at @JustinTBrown and find more of his artwork at artnessbyjustinbrown.com and justinbrown.info.